Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie and today I have a all-seated chair somatic movement practice for you. All you're going to need is a chair. Make sure that it doesn't have arms, just so that you've got a little bit more space, but work with whatever chair you've got. You can also do this from your sofa or from your bed. So let's get started. So let's take a couple of moments to get settled. And I actually invite you to sit right back in your seat so that you can feel the support underneath your back. And just for a moment, allow yourself to properly land. You can rest your hands or arms wherever feel comfortable. You might even take a moment to close your eyes or just lower your gaze so you don't need to look at the screen. And we'll take a slow breath in through the nose, down towards the belly, and let it out through the mouth with a sigh. If you want to make a little bit of sound, you are welcome to here. Breathing in through the nose, down to the belly, out through the mouth, and seeing if you can let your body really settle into the support of the chair. Feeling your feet on the ground. I recommend doing this without shoes on, even without socks on, unless your feet are cold. I've got socks on. And feel free to do that a few more times. Breathing in, down towards the belly. Letting it out with a sigh, maybe seeing if you can soften your forehead, your jaw, your shoulders, and let that wave move all the way down to the tips of your toes. You don't need to force these breaths. So if you notice that there's some tightness or tension, if your breath is getting stuck anywhere, try not to force it in or out. Lengthen out your exhale a few more times. And just try to focus on consciously softening where that tension is, where you can feel that tension in your body. It might not go away completely, and that's fine. There's nowhere else that you need to be, nothing else that you need to be doing. And maybe seeing if that gives you permission to settle just a little bit more. Because your mind might be telling you otherwise. Your mind might be saying we've got lots to do, we can't stop. But you can stop, you are allowed. I give you permission. Can you give yourself permission? And then starting to breathe in and out through your nose if that feels available today. Inviting your inhales to become just a little bit deeper, fuller, but again without forcing it. And lengthening out the exhale. Starting to find that wave of the breath. And just as the breath wave comes and goes, so might your attention. So recognizing that everything moves in cycles and waves, and your mind will oscillate away and it will come back. And within this practice, we can practice doing that. We can practice bringing our attention back to our breath, back to our movements, our body, and this moment. So let's start to lift away from the back of the seat and just shuffle slightly forward in the chair so that you've got plenty of space around you, but make sure that you still feel supported through your pelvis. Find a little wave of length through the spine, not sitting up too rigid, but just making sure that you're not really slouching. We'll rest the hands down on the knees or thighs. And as you next breathe in, start to bring your shoulders up towards your ears, little squeeze. And as you breathe out, slowly lower the shoulders back down. Let your arms feel heavy. Breathing in to lift. Breathing out to lower. There might be times where you want to breathe out through the mouth, and that's fine. I invite you to breathe in any way that does feel best for you in this moment. Sometimes focusing too much on the breath can make it more restrictive. Let's keep this movement going, a few more rounds. And let's start to get the head involved. So as you lift the shoulders up towards the ceiling, gently tilt the head back, and then bringing the shoulders down, tilt the head forward, little length in the back of the neck and between the shoulder blades. Lifting the chin, lift the shoulders, breathe in. Breathing out, lower the shoulders, lower the chin. One more. Pause here with the chin down, relax the shoulders down, and then like a pendulum, take the nose over to the right shoulder, find a little length down that left side of the neck, rolling the chin through center, take it over to the other side. Let's keep sweeping chin towards chest, starting to sync breath and movement, or just allowing your breath to be nice and natural, an easy rhythm. And it doesn't matter which side you're on, but start to lift your nose up towards the ceiling. Still keeping the head to the side. And then chin down towards the chest, turning to the other side, starting to lift the nose a little higher, down towards the chest, over to the other side. And then starting to take your nose all the way up and over. Take some big full circles. Imagine drawing a circle with the nose in front of you or around you. If there are any little areas of tension or tightness in the neck or the shoulders today, take it just a little bit slower, and you can always pause and you can always move your head in different ways. So sometimes the movements that I suggest or other practitioners suggest, they don't always feel right for us in the moment. So I do invite you to experiment. And if you prefer the pendulum swing or just turning your head side to side, you can take those movements. If you haven't already swapped directions, if you are taking those big circles. So this is really about learning to build awareness in your own body and trust in your own movements and your own needs. And that sometimes, following every little thing that a practitioner says isn't always the best thing to do for us as individuals. Let's bring the head back to center. Arms down by the sides of your body. Spread the fingers just a little and then sweeping your arms up and overhead. And you can take the gaze up if you want to or look forward. And then floating your arms back down. You might come back to bringing the chin to the chest, or you could keep your head neutral, sweeping the arms up, stay rooted through the pelvis and the feet, floating your arms back down. Let's keep it going. And then of course, if you need suggestions and guidance, this is what practitioners are here for. This is what we are here for, and why we do these videos, so that you can follow along and find and figure out what feels right for you. And the more you do it, the more confident you feel in adapting and making it your own. Let's take 2 more like this. On this last one, as you're reaching your arms up, maybe explore finding just a little more length through the spine. So lifting up a little higher through the crown of the head, maybe finding a little lift through the heart space. You might feel a gentle back bend here. Still rooting through the pelvis, so notice if you're lifting up and out of your seat or bracing or tensing the thighs, and snuggle the pelvis back down, relax the thighs. Reaching up with one hand, back through center, and then reaching up with the other, like there's a top shelf. And this is a very gentle stretch, so we're not over striving here or forcing the movement. Just getting a little length down one side and then the other. You can let your head tilt and rock so that it feels natural rather than rigid. Check back in with the breath if you've lost it. Reach up through all of the fingers, take a breath in, and then breathe out to float your arms down. Let your hands land comfortably. Let your shoulders relax. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a moment to observe, notice how that felt. And blinking the eyes open. And we'll reach our right fingertips down just by the side of our chair, reaching the left arm out to the side. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, side bend over to the right. There might be a part of your chair that you could hold on to for a little bit of support, or you could always bring the hand back to the thigh. Let's wiggle into that top hand, into the fingers, and roll out the wrist. And then thinking about rocking that top shoulder forwards a little bit and back a little bit. Elbow forward, shoulder and elbow back. Small movements, they don't need to be huge. Let's bring it back to center, and then bringing that arm down, that left arm down. Start to sweep it across your body and reach to behind you, so behind that right shoulder. So coming into a little twist, not too much. We don't want to kind of pull ourselves off the chair, only going as much as your spine and body will allow. And then bringing that arm back, cactus the arm and twist in the opposite direction. Look behind you. Sweeping that arm round and across. And then drawing it back, cactus the arm, look behind you. Start to find a rhythm of breath that works for you with this movement. It can be natural. It might not be one breath, one movement. And we'll take a few more. And depending on how stable you feel, if you want to explore a little more length in your body, as you're reaching that arm round, take hold of the back of the chair and slide the opposite leg out. And then you can bring it all the way back round, place that foot down, and then sweeping the arm behind and extending the opposite leg away. One more. So that might not work for everyone, but it's just an option if you want to try it. Come back to center, float that arm down, give the shoulder a roll, and then we'll take it over to the other side with our side bend. So this arm, left arm reaching down, sweeping the opposite arm up, take a breath in, and then breathe out into your side bend. I'm forgetting my lefts and rights today, if you haven't noticed. Settling into a few breaths, a wiggle of the fingers, a roll of the wrists. And then just that little rock forwards and backwards of the shoulder. So it just takes it out of holding it static. And you might feel some little clicks, little pops of air. That, again, if this doesn't feel good in your body, you can find some stillness and settle into the breath. Let's bring it all the way back to center, taking that right arm out, sweeping it across your body and behind that left shoulder, so coming into a twist. You might sense this just underneath the rib cage. So on this side, see where you can feel that twist coming from. And then drawing the arm back, cactus the arm and twisting in the opposite direction. Sweeping the arm round, taking the gaze behind you, and then sweeping that arm all the way back and opening up. So we've got a sort of a closed twist with the arm across the body, and then an open twist, cactusing the arm, drawing it back. For these last few, if you wanted to explore sending the leg out long, so we're reaching in opposite directions, feel free, take around 3 of those. And on that last one, bringing everything back to center, releasing your arms down. Take a roll of that shoulder. And then bring in both. So rolling the shoulders back one at a time, or both together. Hands resting onto the knees or thighs. Let's take a few seated cat and cows. A little bit more movement in the spine. So start to tilt your pelvis forward, lifting through the front of your body. Draw the shoulders back, lift the chin. And then start to tuck the tailbone under, draw the belly button in, round into your low back, mid back, upper back. Bring the chin towards the chest. Inhaling to tilt forward, finding length and space in the front body. Breathing out to round through. We find space in the back body and we contract through the front. Keep it going. Again, maybe sinking breath and movement. Maybe it's more of a natural breath. And really think about articulating through the spine. And this doesn't need to be a rigid movement of forwards and backwards. Think about softening through the shoulders, softening into the elbows. I don't think I explained that very well, but just allowing it to be more of a full body experience rather than it just being about the spine. So it feels a little softer around the shoulders and the neck and into the hips. Whatever that means to you. Let's come back to center. Root through the sit bones, the feet, and then find that little wave of length through the spine. Come back to the breath. And I invite you to take a slow breath in through the nose, fill up the belly. Let it out with a sigh. Maybe a HA sound. You could make a loud sound if you want to. Breathe in. Letting that breath go. One more. Making weird sounds. Let's blink our eyes open if you close them. And start to lift your heels. You can do both together, one at a time. Start to spread the toes, lift the toes. Explore the feet. So this is why doing it without shoes on and without socks on is good. But at least with socks you can still spread. Let's pick up the left foot and roll out the ankle. Point or flex. Point and flex, I should say. Take it to the other side. Rolling out the ankle. Pointing, flexing, starting to wake up the feet and the legs. Maybe noticing what sensations you can feel in your calves, your shins, into the thighs. And then start to tap your feet on the floor. If you want to do one at a time, you can. Tapping your feet and then tapping your thighs. So getting a little bit of blood flow in the legs. Tapping all the way down. Waking up the legs. Tapping. Again, check that you're breathing. So just boosting the circulation. This can help to reduce muscle tension as well. And then rubbing down the legs. And we're going to sit a little further forward in our seat. So this is our last little bit of movement, just coming into the legs here. Let's keep our right foot planted, send the left leg out and flex the foot. I'll do this sideways. So sending the leg out, flex the foot, draw the toes up towards you, bring the hands onto the hips, the thighs if that feels more comfortable, and start to lean forward. And then come all the way back out. Breathe in. Breathe out as you hinge forward. Breathing in, coming all the way up. Breathing out as you hinge forward. Keep it going. If you want to add the arms on, reach your fingers to the sky, and then as you hinge forward, think about reaching up and over towards the toes. You don't need to grab the toes or touch them. Let's breathe in, reaching up. You might imagine that you've got a big beach ball and you're trying to reach it up and over that foot, and then bringing it all the way back up. And of course you can hold this as well. You can either keep the movement going or you can hold this forward fold. But I like to keep things moving and flowing rather than static. Next time you come up, slide that foot back in. Let's send it over to the other side. Hands on hips, starting to hinge forward, leading with the chest, and then coming all the way back up. Leaning forward into it and all the way out. And your knee does not need to be locked. You can keep a soft bend in the knee, so you can experiment with how much you extend that leg and how much you flex the foot. Maybe you keep the toes towards the floor. The more you flex the foot, the more you will possibly feel a stretch in the back of the leg. If you want to add that movement on with the arms, reaching up and over. And as we're coming back up, we really need to press into that opposite foot. So noticing how that opposite leg is still there, still getting involved. How's your breath doing? If you want to hold it for a couple of breaths, now's your opportunity. And the next time you come up, let's plant that foot back down to the floor, float our arms down if you lifted them, and come back into your seat. Let's sit back in the seat like we did at the start. Let your back feel held, let your pelvis feel held. You can rest your arms down, close your eyes or soften your gaze. And we'll take a few rounds of the physiological sigh, which is 2 breaths in and 1 long breath out. But just for a moment before we go into that, come back to your natural breath. Take a moment to notice how your body feels. And as you're ready, we'll take 2 breaths in and then out through the mouth. So 2 breaths in through the nose and a long breath out through the mouth. Let's go. Keep it going. Think about breathing into the belly, into the ribs, letting that breath go. Into the belly, into the ribs, out through the mouth. This is really good for stress relief, reducing spikes of cortisol in your body, so the stress hormone. This can help shift that activation in our body, so like over-activation, when we might say it's fight or flight, when we're feeling really anxious, when we've heightened sense of fear perhaps. This can shift us into the parasympathetic or the rest and digest. We'll keep it going for about 5 more rounds. You can always come back to a belly breath if this isn't quite hitting the mark for you. A slow breath in and a long exhale can also do the trick. Make this your last one. Come back to your natural breath. And let yourself pause, noticing the effects of that breathing practice and the movement that we've done today. Let yourself feel held by the chair, feeling your feet on the earth. Let your pelvis feel heavy. Give yourself permission to rest and integrate for these last few moments. Nothing to do. And if your mind has started to drift away, that oscillation that I talked about at the start, then gently guide it back to feeling the support underneath you, the wave of your breath. Perhaps noticing what's here for you now after exploring this movement and breath today. And if you've got a little more time, feel free to stay where you are or pause or stop the video and just give yourself more time to integrate. But if you are ready to get on, we'll reach our arms out to the side, up and overhead, get a little yawny stretch in. And if you wish to join me, bringing the hands down into prayer or Anjali Mudra at the heart center, either hands in prayer or hands over the heart as you bow your head. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful, and I can't wait to see you here again soon.